Hi guys, welcome back to the Big Sew Along. I'm Ginny and this is another episode of Friday Sews, where I get to yammer on about things that are not all of sewing. First of which is my new sweater vest. I just finished this. You can kind of see. Even though we're supposed to get snow again tomorrow, I suspect I won't have a lot of time left to wear this winter, so I'm trying to put it on as many times as I can. What else? So last week, totally non-making related, last week I put a little note up on the page at some point saying I needed a haircut. And in fact, I do need a haircut. However, I am trying to grow my hair out a teeny bit so it looks more like this, or this. You guys get the idea. Thinking about like a little, some bangs that actually sit on my forehead this time. Anyways, my gal says that I have to wait a few more weeks before I have enough hair for her to cut it like that, and it's torturing me. I really hate growing my hair out, and I really like always keep it pretty short. Yeah, so the grow out, even if it's only for a few weeks, is just a royal pain. The other thing, you guys, is I totally forgot to tell you about, I guess it was about 4 weeks ago now, I got my eyebrows microbladed. And which is, if you don't know, microblading is like it's almost like a tattoo. It's not quite the same as a tattoo because I think it supposedly wears off after a year or so you have to get it like touched up. I was really scared to have it done because I've seen so many bad microblading jobs. But the gal who does my nails, Sandy, I've been going to her for almost 10 years. And I did not know she had microbladed eyebrows. So when I found that out, then I was like, whoa, I want to go to the girl who did you. And then there's another gal who works in her salon who had the same woman do her brows. And I looked at those. They both look really, really good. So I did. I made the appointment. I was still really nervous because I was terrified it was going to look. But the thing I was most worried about was that it was going to look like the wrong color. But it's a good color. She did a great job. I have a picture of it here. The very first day I got it done, I don't know if you'll really be able to tell, but it did kind of look like somebody took like a Sharpie and drew my eyebrows in. My mom said I did look a little bit, like Groucho Marx, but, that just lasts for like maybe 4 or 5 days, and then you get some like skin that falls off, and then it's like the normal color. I will say it hurt like the dickens, as my father would say. Not all of it, but parts of it were like really hurt. But it only took about maybe, I mean, altogether it probably took an hour, but she was actually only doing the tattooing part for about like 30 or 40 minutes. So even the parts that hurt, it didn't last very long. So after I got it done, I was still really nervous that I wasn't going to like it. I like the shape a lot. I feel like they look like my natural eyebrows, like back when I was in my 30s when I was always trying to pluck them out. But seriously, after 5 days, I was really, really in love with them. I'm so glad I did it, you guys, because it seems so silly, but not having to like put my eyebrows on every single day is such like a relief. It just doesn't, like I don't have to think about it, and it's so nice. Anyways, if you've been considering doing something like the microblading, yeah, I recommend it. If you can get somebody who's really good, I would not go to somebody whose work I hadn't seen up close and personal, that is for sure. Because like I said, I've seen a lot of microblading coming in and out of the fabric store, and not all of it's good. Some of it's real bad. So, yeah, just go to somebody who knows what they're doing, or that you've seen their work. Just for reference, here in Detroit, I think it cost to have my eyebrows done, I think was $5.50 It was either 500 or 550, but, which is, you know, a fair amount of money. However, if it's done correctly and you like it and you, I mean, it's a huge time saver for me. And yeah, for me, it's totally worth it. Okay, enough about that. Enough about makeup and beauty for the sew along today. Last week I was finishing up this sweater, so I knew I had to go get a new project started because we were also supposed to have a huge snowstorm last Saturday, which turned out to be like a mild snowstorm, so it wasn't that big of a deal. But I was afraid I'd be stuck in the house for 3 days without any knitting or sewing projects. So I went to the yarn shop, and one of the things I got was this book called Neons and Neutrals, a knitwear collection curated by Aimé Gilles. I don't know how to say her name, it's French, but I'm going to put a thing right here. And I'll also link to this book. I am so in love with absolutely everything in this book. And even if you're not a knitter, take a look at the pictures because I feel like the colors are just so inspiring. I have pictures to show you of a bunch of the stuff in here, and I'm going to be hard pressed to decide which ones to actually put up because I really, really love them all. And I'm thinking that this is really gonna like inspire my color choices for spring and summer. In the fall, I was focusing on red, black, gray, white, pink, and red, black, gray, white, pink. That's pretty much it. I'm not like, I don't have like a color palette. Like I'm sure I do. I did try to have my to look into my colors and see what they were. The fact is, as much as I respect people who can really like do their colors and work with that and see how different they feel in different colors, the truth is I only like certain kinds of colors, and those are the colors that make me happy. So regardless of what my color is, I'm gonna just wear the colors that make me happy. So those are the colors. Black, red, white, gray, and pink are the colors that I focus on for fall and winter. For spring, I'm thinking about like toning down the black and red a little bit and adding like a stone, like ecru color as a neutral to go with the pink and white and some red, although probably not as much red. So I'm thinking, what was I thinking for fall? Beige, white, pink. Okay, well that's easy because you can see why I said that, because while I was at the yarn shop, I did get the yarn for a new sweater I'm going to start, and these are the colors. Yeah, beige, pink, and white. So those are like the inspiration for my spring summer colors. I'm still going to have this is pretty neon-y. This is not the kind of pink I normally go for, but I love it with these. Anyways, literally any shade of pink is fine with me. So those, and I'm gonna still have like gray, black, and some red. Just try to focus more on the pink, beige, cream, off-white, light gray, that kind of thing for spring and summer. So yeah, that was my foray into the yarn shop last week. The other thing I want to tell you guys about, Karen texted me over on Instagram probably, and she was telling me about, she's asking me if I had seen these magic pins. I can't remember, Jay Stern, I think, who also has a YouTube channel. She's a pretty well-known pattern designer and dressmaker. She and sewing teacher. Apparently she recommends these on her channel, and so Karen asked me if I had ever seen them or used them. I ordered them right away just to see what they were like. I'll put a picture of them here, and I'll put a link to everything I talk about down below. These are pretty amazing, I have to say. I've seen other kinds of pins and stuff, but I mean, obviously I usually just use like the glass head pins, but I will say, you know what I really like about these things is that like comfort grip thing they have on there. I don't drop them as easily. Like at the end of a sewing day, I usually have a million pins on the floor around my chair. I was like flipping out of my hands. These are comfort grip. They're actually just really easy to grip, and I love them. So yeah, if you haven't seen these, check them out. I think they're pretty cool. And thanks, Karen, for the suggestion. As always, Karen has like the best suggestions for all kinds of stuff. While I was checking out those magic pins, I came across another thing. Well, I just was reminded to look for a needle sorting pin cushion, because last week in So Much Sewing, Catherine is her name, and I think her channel is So Much Sewing, was talking about getting a pin cushion. She's in New Zealand, and so I think sometimes the things you can get are just different depending on what part of the world you're in. Her pin cushion is just one of those little red tomatoes like everybody has. Only hers has markings on it for different size needles, and in fact, not only different size needles, but or different kinds of needles, but also how often they've been used and blah, 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 stuff like that. So you can really sort out your needles and get rid of them when they're bad and save them when they're not bad. So I had seen one of those on Madame Sew, and because I was like hunting for the magic pins, I had notions on mine. And why not get another notion if you can. So I ordered one of those. I've wanted one for ages. I don't have that yet, but I'm really excited to get it. I know that's the silliest thing, but it just seems like such a handy thing to have. I'm always just putting my needles back in those little like plastic packs. But I don't like fiddling with those all the time. I think having the needle sorting cushion right next to my sewing machine is a much better option. I guess actually Karen was a wealth of information this week, because I think she's also the person who alerted me to the fact that the new Tauko magazine is out. I don't have mine yet. I have ordered it. In fact, I'm such a ninny. I went to the Tauko website and I panicked. Like, I saw that they had issue 6, and then I saw issue 5, and I was like, oh, I missed one. So I ordered them both. And like 2 days later, when I came downstairs to my sewing room, I realized that I have issue 5. So I guess I'll have another one. Anyways, for anybody who does not want to pay for international shipping or whatever, I mean, if you just want to get it that's closer, in the US, you can also get Tauko Magazine at Purl Soho and at Fancy Tiger Crafts now. So I will link to both of those guys below. You might also be able to get it at Murray Hill Bolt and Spool, which is out of Cleveland. If you can, I'll link that below too. Anyways, it's, I don't know if it's actually been released or if it's just coming out this week, but we should have it in our hot little hands sometime very soon, and I'll share that with you. Last week, when I was talking about like hoodies and sweatshirts and stuff, Grace suggested, she said one of her favorites is the Trish Newberry Assassin's hoodie, which is right here. And I've never made this, but I do love a Trish Newberry pattern, and I think this one is a really cool, and it definitely has like a login look vibe to it. So if you're looking for a different hoodie than the ones we were talking about last week, maybe check this one out. It's very cool. And then Catherine, again, from So Much Sewing, I hope I got that right. I'm pretty sure that's her channel. Anyways, Catherine also pointed out that Style Arc had just come out with a new knit pattern for a dress called the Camile, which is really similar in shape to a lot of the tops I was talking about last week. This one, I think it just has the cowl neck, the turtleneck, but obviously for those of us moving into like warmer weather, it would be easy enough to leave that off and just make it a crew neck or change the neckline any way you want, really. Alright guys, I really don't have very much else to say. I am still working on my Christine Johnson moto jacket with my friend Pat. I think we're going to finish that this afternoon. It's actually tomorrow afternoon because I'm recording this on Thursday, but when you watch this on Friday, we'll be working on that jacket, and I think we'll be finishing it up, and I can show you next week how it turned out. The only other thing I've been sewing, well, I have actually been sewing a lot. I've been working on my knit tops and tunics, but I'm saving those all for next week because I want to show you like a group of them together so you can see a good comparison between them. And I'm not finished with them yet because I got detoured by a pair of pants, as usual. But I did also do a remake this week. If you guys remember, I can't remember when I made the Arthur pants. I will put a link up here somewhere at some point in this video to my original Arthur video if you haven't seen it, because I originally made these pants in like a twill, which is one of the recommended fabrics for this. So you can maintain that shape. Well, in that video, you guys will remember that it looked like I was wearing a pair of pants made out of a cardboard box. It was terrible. They were horrible. And I have to say, I really love this shape when I look at it. I do not like wearing this shape. And I'm not going to make this shape again. I've done it in 2 different pairs of pants now. The bob pants from Style Arc I liked considerably better. But even so, this is just not the shape for me. So who cares, right? Not everything is for everyone. But I did not want to waste my second pair of Arthur pants, because that fabric, it wasn't like terribly expensive or anything. I really like it though. I love that color. I think it'll look really cool with some of my pink things, or even some of my stone or beige colored things for spring. But here's a picture of it originally, and I just won't wear these pants. The only time I do wear them is around the house, and even then I hate them. So I remade them. I just laid them out. I opened up the side seams, laid them out, and recut them with my beloved Japants pattern. And I sewed them back up. And this is what they look like now. They're still a baggy, sort of frumpy kind of pair of pants, which is quite frankly what all of my pants are. That's just what I like. But this is a pair of pants I will definitely wear. I like this much better over, under like a longer tunic or something. I like it, yeah, I like it a lot. I'm really happy with the way they came out. So, yeah, I spent, those Arthur pants had full felt seams like all around. I didn't really need to undo a lot of seams, but I did have to take the waistband off, and I had to undo the hems a little bit, and then I wasn't sure how much I was going to cut off the sides, so I did undo both of the side seams, which was a fair amount of work. But that was okay. I kind of find that a little bit meditative, like when you can just like listen to a book or some music and like rip things out. I know that's like a little thing I really got into when I was working for my friend Marsha. I did a ton of alterations, and 90% of altering things is taking things apart. So I learned to love it a little bit. Yeah, so that was cool. Anyways, I like the way they came out, and I'm really happy I took the time to redo them, because they were really like on the way to the Salvation Army bin, and I'm glad that I worked them out, because I'll actually wear them now. Okay, blathering on today. That is it for me this week, you guys. I am apparently in for another snowstorm tomorrow, but who knows? It seems like a lie again, but we'll see. If that's the case, then I have a whole weekend worth of sewing to do, which is very exciting. I hope you guys got a lot of sewing done this week too, and if you're not getting sewing done, I hope you're having a lot of fun doing something else. So until next week, happy sewing, and I'll see you soon.